So, good day, Sir Roa. I am General Milibutanas, the system analyst of our group. So now I am here to demonstrate the non-functional test case of our system, the Barangay Resource Sharing Management System. So this is the first non-functional test case, and it was the unauthenticated page access. So the scenario title is unauthenticated page access. In the scenario description, verify that attempting to access any core system page without being logged in result in an immediate redirect to the login screen. So the test object to confirm all the page enforced authentication, check at the top of the PHP script. Example like dashboard.php or inventory.php. Do the precondition, browser or session cookies are cleared. So the test step. So first is manually type the URL for inventory.php into the address bar. So now let's try. So now this is the system page. So let's try maglagay daw tayo na inventory.php inventory.php. So enter. So as we can see, nagda-direct lang siya sa login.php. So sabi ng so let's continue. That is data NE. The expected result is the browser immediately redirect to the login.php page. So the actual result, browser redirect to login and the pass or failed criteria. The system successfully enforced authentication by redirecting to login.php and the remark is pass. So now let's continue. So this is table 2, the admin access to software dashboard. So the scenario title, valid request submission. In the scenario description, this test verify a user can submit a request with all valid input. In the test objective, to verify process request that PHP and successfully processes and save a new request. In the precondition, so user login request R1 is available in a partner barangay. So the test step, so fill all required fields and like barangay resource quantity dates and purpose and second click submit. So now let's try. So I'm going to log in. So ngayon is mag-request tayo ng resource. Accept dito sa poblasyon, request itong plastic pictures. So now let's fill up example 31 to 1 ay yung quantity request, hiramin tayo ng 5 numbers or yeah. So purpose of this of request, so barangay cleanup. So check and submit request. Just wait. So as we can see, ito yung lalabas na request submitted. So request submitted successfully, awaiting approval. So just continue the test data. So ito yung test data, quality 5 and purpose is barangay cleanup. So the expected result, so the system display success to request submitted successfully awaiting approval. In the actual result, success toss was displayed and requests appear in incoming and pass failed criteria. So request successfully recorded and success notification display, and the remark is pass. So now let's continue table 3. So the scenario title, user scenario expression, expiration and activity. The scenario description, verify that an inactive user session is terminated after the timeout, forcing re-authentication. And that is objective, to ensure proper session managing the security on an attended system. And the precondition, admin is log in the system session, timeout is configure example 30 minutes. The test step, leave the browser idle for 31 minutes, and the second is attempt to navigate to issued resources page. So now let's try. So yeah, ito yung yung an example ko na page. So let's try to navigate. So enter. Also, as we can see, direction sa login page. So let's continue. That is data in if the expected result. So the user is immediately redirected to login.php with a session expired message. And the actual result is the redirected to login page. And the pass-failed criteria, session timeout is enforced and the user is redirected to login.php. And the remark as pass. So now let's move the table 4. So the scenario title, browse, login, and back button check. So the scenario description, verify that using the browser back and button after login out does not restore the previously view page content. And the test objective, to ensure the logout function correctly and destroy the server-side session. And the precondition, user successfully logs out. And the test step, click the logout button and on the login screen and click the browser and back button. So now let's try logout, logout na natin. Tapos click yung back and so and click the magpindot tayo dito kung gagana ba na mapunta sa inventory or direct to the logout. So as we can see, na-direct sa login page. So now let's continue. The test data is in me and the expected result. The browser remains on the login.php. So page and does not display the restrict content and the actual result. So the browser remain on login page and the pass fail criteria. So the destroyed session prevent navigation to previous restricted page and the remark as pass. So now let's continue table 5. The scenario title, missing receipt ID error, and the scenario description, and verify the accessing the PDF generation page, like generate PDF receipt page.php. With that require request ID display a clean error message. So the test objective, to ensure the file input validation provide and appropriate user feedback at the entry point. And the precondition, user is log in and the test step, access the URL like generate PDF receipt.php, la, sorry, meeting request ID. So now let's try. So ano, copy natin to. Copy. Punta tayo sa system. So, report. Oh, ito yung report. So, mag-apply muna tayo ng filter. Resources, apply. So, now dito natin ito-try. Ano, ilagay daw natin dito yung kinapin natin. Ito yung generate pdf receipt.php. At i-enter natin. Tapos yun, ito yung malagay. Let's select a report type from the drop-down above to view the report. So let's continue. The test data NA, the expected result. So the page is display the plain text error message. Request ID is required. And the actual result, clean error message is displayed. In the pass failed criteria, the file successfully validated the present of the required URL parameter and the remark as pass. So now let's continue. Table 6, scenario title, dashboard, card, and chart load time. Those are the scenario description. Measure the time taken for all statistical card and chart on dashboard page P to fully populate after the page shell appears. Those are test objective to ensure the perceived responsiveness of the primary administrative interface is passed. And the precondition, so admin is login, browser, uh, catch in cleared. So the test step, navigate to dashboard.php and measure the time until all numbers and chart are stable. So now let's try. So ang gawin lang natin ay click lang natin dito kung mag-generate ba ay mag-load ba siya ng 2 seconds. So yeah, ito. So yan, bilis naman. Request status, good. Coming request, good, good. Student returning report. So what we can see na ano sa hindi siya naglalag. So let's continue. The test data NA, the expected result. All dynamic context must be displayed and rendered in under 2 seconds. And the actual result, dynamic context loaded under 2 seconds. In the pass and failed criteria, so dashboard content loaded within the 2 seconds performance target. Do the remark as pass. So now let's continue. Table 6. The scenario time title, incoming request filter speed, and the scenario description. Measure the delay when using the status filter on the incoming request page, which call fetch incoming request.php. And the test object to ensure the filter mechanism provide immediate user feedback and low latency. Precondition, admin is on incoming request, data is table contain 500 plus record. So that is step, select a new status, example, pending, like ganyan. So the second is measure the delay until the table content refresh. So now let's try. Let's go to the incoming request. So try status pending. We have no pending, and take another, approve, reject. Yeah. So nakita natin mabilis lang siya. Pag pindot natin, lalabas siya. Di na yung ano. hindi na lalabas siya diretso. Yan. Tapos sa all status dito makita natin. Yan, lalabas siya bigla. Hindi siya naglalag. So let's continue. Test data NA, the expected result. The table content must refresh and display the filter result in under 1 seconds. And the actual result. So the table refresh occurred under 1 seconds. The pass and fail criteria. Filter data update is achieved within a 1 second performance target. So the remark as pass. So now let's continue. Table 8. The scenario title, inventory less search performance. In the scenario description, measure the time taken for the inventory less like inventory.php to update after the user type a search term. And the test objective to ensure the search feature is highly usable and responsiveness. In the precondition, so admits on the inventory.php inventory list display 200 plus term item. And the test step, begin typing a resource name into the search bar. And the second is measure the delay until the filtered result are visible. So now let's try. Let's go to inventory. So yeah, this is the search bar. Let's try the search table. So yun, lalabas siya. Hindi lalabas siya pala eh. Bigla siyang lalabas pag type natin. So let's try gloves. Yan. Eh, and another plastic plastic chairs. Yan, lalabas siya. So now let's continue. Test data NA and expected result. So the less you'll filter and display result in under 500 ms after the query is stable. And the actual result, search result updated under 500 ms and the pass and failed criteria. So search filtering is achieved within the 500 ms performance target. And the remark, pass. So now let's continue the table 6 scenario title, resource request submission latency. Scenario description, measure the delay between clicking submit request and being redirected to the dashboard with a success message. And that test objective to ensure the user perceive the request submission process like process request.php as fast and efficient. And the precondition, user is on request.php, all fields are filled. And the test step, so first is click submit request and second measure the time until the dashboard load and the success task appears. So now let's try. So first is we need to request the resource, poblacion, so not 10. So 30 and 1. So hiram tayo ng dalawa. So number, ano, 10. uh, need we have a event example in the and submit request. So as we view, so as we can see, didiretso siya. Yan, nakita natin. dashboard. So let's continue. So the test data NE, the expected result, the total submission and redirect the time should be under 3 seconds. And the actual result, the submission completed under 3 seconds. And the pass or fail criteria, request submission completed within the 3 seconds performance target and remark as pass. So now let's continue. Table 10 and the scenario title, receive generation perceive delay. In the scenario description, measure the delay observed after clicking the generate receipt button for the generate PDF receipt.php action to and test objective to ensure file generation does not introduce exhib exhib workflow delay. And precondition, admin is viewing and approve borrow request. So the test step and click the generate receipt button and measure the time until the PDF open in a new tab start downloading. So now let's test. So going to report, let's going to apply request, no, resources available, yeah, all status. So export PDF. So as we can see, labas siya. Hindi na siya hindi siya mabagal. Lalabas na siya bigla. Makita natin dito yung sa status, available, lost, yan, borrow. At dito lang kapag i-download natin. Yan, yan. BRMS report inventory. Save. Yan. So let's continue. That is data NA and expected result. The file generation must be complete and present to the user in under 3 seconds. And the actual result, PDF generate under 3 seconds and the fast filled in criteria. File generation is completed within the 3 seconds performance target. So the remark pass. So now let's continue table 11. The scenario title, photo upload type validation. So the scenario description, verify that attempting to upload a non-image file example PDF. So for a photo result and an explicit error message. So the test objective to enforce the input validation based on file type via GTMage size. Click. So the precondition, so user is on user settings.php or user management.php. So the test step, select and attempt to upload a file with a PDF extension. And the second, and click the upload button. So now let's going to try. So we're going to back set, settings. So now let's going to change the profile picture. Ang gawin natin is magda-drop tayo ng PDF. Ito yung sinip natin kanina, try natin drop sa system. Drop ganyan. So let's try to upload photo. So yan ito. Please correct the error in the form. So dito naman makita natin yung invalid file type, only GPG and JPG and PNG are allowed. So nire-reject niya kapag yung yung file na ilagay mo is PDF like mga ganyan, dapat image lang. So let's continue sa test data NE, the expected result. So the system display the error message file is not an image. So the actual result error image is displayed. And the pass or failed criteria. So the system successfully reject non-image file type for photo uploads and the remark as pass. So now let's continue the table 12. So the scenario title, photo upload size limit feedback. Scenario description. So verify that attempting to upload a file existing the size limit, example 5 MB, and result in a clear error message. So test objective to provide observable input validation feedback for sub file size constraints. And the precondition, a user is on a photo upload form. So the test step is first is select and attempt to upload an image file that is 6 MB. And the second is click the upload file button. So now let's going to try. So dito. So we're going to choose file. Dito is ano mag-upload tayo ng taas ano like lapas siya sa 5 MB ito. So upload photo. Just wait. So dito makita natin please correct the error in the form. Ito naman is ito yung ano may error. So file size excess 5 MB limit. Kasi bawal kasi ang tatanggapin lang niya dapat 5 MB below. Kung kapag yung picture na in-upload mo is hindi na 5 MB is mag-error siya. So now let's continue. The test data is NE. The expected result is the system display the error message file size exceed na 5 MB limit. And the actual result is error message is displayed in the pass and failed criteria. The system successfully reject file larger than the defined size limit and the remark as pass. So now let's continue table 13. The scenario title non-positive quantity rejection. In the scenario description and verify that attempting to submitting a request quantity of 0 or negative number, example negative 5. So the result in a validation error message. And the test objective to enforce the minimum value boundary is 1 for resource quantity. And the precondition, user is on the request form, example, request.php. So that is step, enter the value 0 into the quantity field and click the submit button. So now let's try back. Let's going dito tayo sa request resource kasi magpipill up tayo sa poblasyon. Ito tayo yung kunti lang yung quantity. Ito, sinso. Sinso. Pilipin muna natin to. So try natin yung sabi nila 0. So dito makikita natin is quantity must be at least 1. Bawal siya yung negative minus negative 5. So ito yung makikita natin kapag ito yung nilagay natin kapag lapas naman. So quantity cannot excess, available stock is 2. Yan po makikita natin. And 0 naman, yung quantity must be at least 1. So let's continue. So the test data NE, the expected result, the form display an inline error message, quantity must be a positive number. And the actual result is inline error is displayed in the pass-fail criteria form. Validation successfully reject non-positive quantity input. And the remark as pass. So now let's continue. Table 14. The scenario title, return date before request date. The scenario description, verify that submitting a request where the return date is early than the request date trigger a validation error. In the test objective, to enforce the temporal constraints, the constraints a return must occur after borrowing. In the precondition, a user is on the request form, the like request.php. So the test step, set request date to October 30 and set request I return date to October 29 and click the submit button. So now let's try. So, yun, dito na tayo sa request resource form. So, try daw natin yung request date is 30. Walang ah try tayo ng ibang resource. Itong chairs, plastic chairs. So, the, 31 na pala tayo. No, 1 natin sa uli. Tas ibabalik daw is 2. Tas ibalik natin sa 1. So, as we can see, hindi natin mapipindot kasi bawal talaga. Bawal talaga kasi bawal yung mauna yung return mo kaysa pag-request mo. Dapat kung kailan mo ni-request at dapat labaw pa siya. Ganyan. Kapag ano naman, kapag yung sabi niya na one natin sa uli, hindi yan masasubmit. Dapat nasa tama. Kasi return date cannot be before the request date. So let's continue. The test data is in E, the expected result, and the system display an error message like return date cannot be before the request date, and the actual result is validation error is displayed in the pass or failed criteria. Chronological cons- constraint enforce rejecting the invalid date range in the remark as pass. So now let's continue. Table 15. The scenario title, request purpose max length UI feedback. In the scenario description, verify that the request purpose text area in request.php and provide visible feedback when the text approaches a defined length boundary. And the test objective to provide usability feedback on the maximum length of textual input. In the precondition, user is on the request form. And the test step, paste a text strength of 1000 characters into the purpose like text area. So now let's going to try dito. Let's continue. Ano daw? 1000 text. So dito is okay naman siya. Masasubmit. Yan. So the test data, long string. So the expected result, the input field either stop accepting characters at the limit of display, a character counter warning. So the actual result is input stop at the max character limit. In the pass or fail criteria, the UI successfully enforced maximal length constrained with feedback, and the remark as pass. So now let's continue. Table 16. The scenario title non-admin access during maintenance, and the scenario description verify that all non-super admin user are block and show a maintenance message when the mode is enabled, and that is objective to ensure the system can be taken offline safety for critical maintenance. And the precondition, the super admin has enabled maintenance mode, and the test step and attempt to log in as a regular admin user and attempt to access inventory.php, and the test data like NA and expected result. The system display a full page message like system under maintenance and prevent access, and actual result maintenance page is display, and the pass fail criteria maintenance mode successfully block all non-privileged user access, and the remark is pass. So table 17 the scenario title technical errors of suppression, scenario description verify that a query failure result in a generic server error page or alert, not broken PHP code or file path, and that is objective to ensure security and reliability by surprising all technical error for the end user. And the precondition, admin perform an action knows to trigger a server-side error. Example, invalid input using a script to die. So the test step is perform the action, and the second is observe the resulting page alert. In the test data, the system display a user failed error, example, an unexpected error accurate and not PHP stack trace. And expected result, generic clean error message is show. In the actual result, the system successfully suppression technical error output, and the path field criteria in the remark as pass. So now let's continue. Table 18, the scenario title, form input trimming, and the scenario description, and verify the submitting a required form field, example resource name, and field only with white space is rejected. To enforce input validation and prevent fields from being empty settings of space. In the precondition, admin is on the add resource form inventory.php. So that is step, fill the resource name field with multiple space, and the second is click the submit button. So let's try. So we're going to add the inventory. What the so, uh, add resource. So no, and let's try description. Na, the category tools NGT 10. So yeah, we need the photos. So so no, ito yung makita natin. Invalid file type of photo only PNG, GIF are allowed. So let's continue. The test data is NE. In the expected result, the form display an error message. Resource name is required or resource name cannot be empty. The acquired result empty space input is rejected. In the fast fail criteria, input validation successfully rejects string containing only white space and the remark pass. So now let's continue. Table 19, the scenario title, Global UI Branding Consistency. Scenario description, verify that the header navigation sidebar and branding remain visually identical across all major pages. And that is objective to ensure a professional and uh, cohesive user interface. And the precondition, admin is login. The test step, first is navigate between dashboard and inventory and issued resources, and second look for any changes in font, logo, size or layout, and the test data NE and the expected result. The overall UI framework header sidebar is uniform across all feeds, and the actual result UI layout is perfectly consistent in the pass or fail criteria. Global UI element maintain visual consistency across all media. And remark pass. Okay, okay, let's continue. Table 20. The scenario title, default request less shorter. And the scenario description, verify the incoming request less is consistently sorted by the most recent request first. And that the test objective to ensure usability by presenting the most urgent newest data, the top of the list. And the precondition, admin is on the incoming request, like page incoming request that PHP is called. And the test step, observe the timestamp and date of the top most request card. So let's try. So now this is the incoming request. So dito natin makikita yung quantity niya. Ito is we have 34, meron 35. Ito is 45. Makita din natin kung anong oras. Uh, and at return for pause. And dito natin makikita yung pinaka ano, October 14. Yan, yung kinansela. Status local. So let's continue. The top request card must display the most recent timestamp, and the actual result list is sorted by new list date first, and the pass or fail criteria. The list successfully default to sorted by descending timestamp, and the remark pass. So let's continue. Table 21. Scenario title, date filter values presentence. And the scenario description, verify that the entered data values in the filter fields on activity logs.php and remain after the user submit the form. And test objective to ensure usability by maintaining the user's filter context after the page load. And the precondition for admin is on activity logs.php. And test step, enter edit form date and date to date to and click the filter submit button and check the content of the date input fields. Test data NE and expected result. The submitted dates are concurrently displayed in their respective input field after the page refresh, and the actual result filter values pre- pres- process precision reload and pass field criteria. All applied filter values successfully processed in the input field and remark as pass. So let's continue. Table 22, the scenario title, category drop-down population. So scenario description, verify the resource category drop-down populates dynamic and successfully via adjust to the test objective to ensure the get category.php endpoint successfully fetches and render its data into the UI dropdown. And precondition, admin is on the add resources, resource modal, and inventory.php. And test step, open and add resource modal and observe the category dropdown content. So let's try ito. Ito, the all category. Equip. Yan, na makita natin kung electrical kung saan siya na belong sa ito event equipment. Yan, ito yung mga event equipment natin. Tools. Yan, ito yung tools natin. Transport vehicle. Yan. So let's continue. Test data, NE, expected result. The drop-down loads and display a list of the resource categories and actual results and categories are reloaded successfully in pass or failed criterias. The Ajax base category drop-down population successfully and remark as pass. So now let's continue. Table 23, scenario titles, resource photo live previews, scenario description, verify the selecting an image file for a new resource or photo display a live previews of the image before submission. And that is objective to improve usability by allowing the user to confirm the selected image before the upload begins. And the precondition, admin is on the add resource from inventory.php. And this step, click the file input for the resource photo and second, select a local image file. So let's try inventory. So let's try the table table. So this let's choose file coffee table. uh, let's try this coffee table and update the source. Yeah, success, resource updated successfully. So now makita natin na may ano na siya, may photo yung ano yung nilagay natin. So let's continue. Test data any expected result. The designated photo previews area updated and likely to display the selected image. Yeah. And actual result. Live image previews functions instantly. And pass fail criteria. Live image preview is successfully upon file selection. And remark pass. So let's continue. Table 24, scenario title, zero search results message. So the scenario description. So verify that the return page, return.php, display a dedicated no matches found message when search yield zero result. To ensure usability by clearly communicating the reason for the empty data table. In the precondition, admin is on returning that PHP and apply a search filter with no matches. And test step and enter a unique or non-existing name into the search bar. And that test data, non-existing name, and the expecting result. The UI display the message and no matches return found. I, so let's try the step. Punta tayo sa returning. So dito. So try natin yung no existing name. Copy. Search. So as you can see, ito yung makikita natin. No matching return found. Your current filter did not return any matches resources. So let's continue. That is data, no existing name. In the expecting result, the UI display the message, no matching return found. In the actual result, the current zero result message is shown. In the past and failed criteria, the system successfully displayed the dedicated zero search result message and the remark as pass. So finally, the last one, the non-functional case, table 25, modal backdrop removal, and the scenario description. Verify that closing a bootstrap modal example term and condition in request.php and correctly remove the dark backdrop and restore page scrolling. And test objective to ensure usability by confirming the client side like JavaScript fix the modal backdrop present tense issue. And the precondition user is on request.php. So that is step. Open the term and condition modal and to close the modal using the close button and three attempt to scroll the main page. So let's try inventory request source. So this is the modal create x. So let's try again. C gray. So let's continue that test data and if the expected result the modal backdrop disappear in the main feed scrolling is immediately restored and the actual result backdrop is removed successfully. In pass and fail criteria, models close successfully and remove the backdrop and restore page scroll functionality. And the remark is pass. So now, thank you. This is the end of our discussion of non-functional test case. And thank you.